fulfill it. Why he came to fulfill the law? He came to fulfill the law because the law is what? Perfect. Yahweh's law is perfect. Can an imperfect being keep that which is perfect? It's impossible. None of us could have kept the law. No man could keep the law. No one. This is why the law is perfect. And the law was that pointer, that director, because that word Torah, it literally means teaching. And that teaching must be applied to self-governance, self-direction. But can we govern ourselves? No, we see from since then, man couldn't govern themselves. We see Cain actually killing who? Abel. And we see all the decline of man's position in history continually being what? Going further and further away from what? Self-governance. Self-governance. Now we got to remember something. In the Hebraic culture, they believe that they can redeem themselves. Look at the culture that we have today. They believe that God or Jesus Christ, he is like the ultimate consciousness of what we call evolution or enlightenment. Deepak Chopra, Oprah Winfrey, and all the likes, this is what they present to a relativistic culture because we can see and approach God from any premise we want. However, what Yeshua is doing here, he is setting a precedent. So now we are bringing to remembrance to zakah in our yod, in our yatsod, in our dat, in our mind, in our seat of consciousness, that which took place in Egypt, it has its foundation in reality and time. It has nothing to do with any esoteric, abstract out there in the cosmos, in some phenomenon where we are now what? Guessing, and based upon all the mythical stories concerning who? Concerning Jesus. We know in Egypt we had the Isis and Ra and Osiris. These three gods that they say Christianity borrowed from what? The Egyptian Horus. We know of even in the Greek mythology. We know even the Hindu with Vashti, Krishna, and Lakshmi, or some one of those gods. There's so many different gods, but it always has this component of three. A man, a woman, and a child. This child who is born from a divine impregnation. And many different cultures have this same sort of what? Story. And if you go back before the giving of the Torah, we have the Bhagavad Gita, or the Indian culture, which we know is the oldest religion, dating back 1500 BC. And if you go right back to Canaan, the Canaan or Babylonian Empire, with the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh, and all the same sort of three person and this divine. Right? And always is this whole concept of what this fight for dominance and control and a sense of identity on earth. However, Christ is bringing the ultimate identity to us. And how he's bringing it? In the good news. Now, that word that we look at here in Isaiah chapter 51 is 61, right? Isaiah 61. Right? He said, now, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to bring good tidings. That word there, good tidings, how it is translated there, we hear good tidings, we hear good news, we just think about what? Some kind of abstract, right? Because that's what we relate it to. You can go into your Strongs, if you have a strong concordance, and you will look at the number 1319. And when you find that word, is going to give you that same word there, good tidings. They have it there, good tidings or good news. It's two words they broke it down to, but in the Greek is one word. And that one word That one word is basar. Basar. And that basar, this word here, this basar, is what we know as what they call good news. Basar. And this basar is what we know in the West as good news, but that doesn't even carry any meaning for us. What does that mean? What does that word mean? And I know we went over that word some time ago when we were doing another teaching. But that word is translated from the Hebrew, and this word in the Hebrew, it literally means what? Flesh. It literally means flesh. And if we're dealing with the flesh, then we're dealing with what? We're dealing with the very what? Existence of a thing. We're dealing with something that has some type of what? Connection. Not an intangible, not a lifeless object. Because when we hear good news, we're thinking about a book or writing or somebody speaking something. Because when we hear good news or good tidings, we're thinking about somebody bringing something, some kind of inanimate object, some lifeless, meaningless object. So in our mind, we are thinking now that this basar, this good news, is just some crazy set of people who change what? The Hebraic story, or the Judaic story, or the Jewish Messiah. Right? Because that is what, if you talk to any Jew, that is what they will say. This set of people, Rome at the time, who changed the whole, they developed a religion around who? Messiah. So now they even rejected his what? His Hebraic name, his Hebraic culture, his teaching, everything about him. They move it from the Judaic culture and origin into what? A Greco-Roman construct. So now everything about the truth and the validity of what he's communicating here for us is what? Is lost. So now when we hear good news, we're not thinking about the flesh, we're thinking about what? We're thinking about some kind of writing. Now from this word here, but this is the basar. Now what that literally means, it means cover with sensitive coats. Cover with sensitive coating. To be covered with sensitive coating. Now all of Jesus Christ's teaching, what did he say? He said, now those who must follow me must do what? Deny themselves. Pick up their cross daily and follow him. So now he is setting a precedent for what they knew, what they were accustomed to, and what took place in Egypt, in Mizraim, when he commanded them to go. And what they did, they were ready, they were standing, they were awaiting the announcement of the declaration of what? That of the angel of death coming and slaughter all that which was living. And if your house on your lintel and your doorpost wasn't covered with what? That blood, that dam. If it wasn't covered with this dam, which is blood, if it wasn't covered with this, what had happened to the firstborn in that house? They die. They die. So now the only thing that will keep you is the what? The basar and the blood. The basar now is inside the house, and this is what they had. This is why now they had to do something in their houses. They had to do something in order to have this basar, or this bread, this laim, right? Laim, which is bread, which they had now to actually take an effort in order to do what? To prepare. Let's look at that. Let's look at what they were actually prepared. Let's look at that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. First Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. Now, you see, Yeshua, everything that he did it. Why he did what he did? Why did Yeshua do what he did? Why is he doing all of this? What's the main reason he is doing all of this? It's a marriage, yes. This is a wedding invitation and ceremony that is going on. But this wedding could only be what? Could two persons just marry themselves? No. Marriage must be witnessed and be overseen by what? A priest, a judge, someone in authority, someone who say, now you are worthy to take on this woman, and you are worthy to take this man as husband. And why? It must be, someone must be overseeing this what? Union. This union and this, what has been being brought into reality, and it must be given the okay. We found it? Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse from, I want to read by verse 7. However, what I'm going to read here, I'm going to read from verse 1. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read